Greetings, beautiful goddesses. So, because July's temple transmissions have to be pre-recorded due to continuous changes of my schedule and some beautiful expansion that is happening in my life, only our patron members are able to join live for this month. If you are interested in being a Patreon member, please let me know. Um, so I'm going to give us a few minutes for those who may have the desire to show up and join us to do so. In the meantime, I'm going to get prepared here for all that we have to do. So we do not really have a lot of temple business. I will share that the new membership is active. We did find out that our active membership for our circles is not actually active on iOS, or it wasn't yesterday. So while I am waiting for others to join, I'm giving that a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and check now so that we know, or that I know really, that whether or not it's been activated. Okay, so it is still pending on iOS platforms. So if you desire to join us and become an embodied goddess, or upgrade your membership from student goddess to living goddess so that you can include all of the embodiment goddess um, ceremonies, circles, and gatherings, you will need to do so either through an Android or from a laptop or desktop computer until iOS is approved. So with that, I'm going to clear the space, light the candle, light our incense, and we are going to begin today's transmission. So tonight's transmission is about the moon. Okay. Um, let me preface. Let me start. Hi, greetings. Okay, so one, I want you all to anchor into the fact that this is a protective space. We are calling in 8888 to form this protective circle. This is a truth portal. So sometimes as we grow and expand, we feel resistance, right? But truth is about liberation. And it is okay to feel resistance against when you are presented with new information or with an opportunity to expand. There's no shame or judgment in how you work with the moon, because today's transmission is about the moon. This is about upgrading our awareness and not condemning anyone's practice. Okay. I want to emphasize as you listen to the transmission today that our feminine mysteries are too sacred to remain hijacked. We have to reclaim them. So I want to invite you to kind of just breathe into your hearts while you are listening. Excuse me. So this transmission, this is an interpretation of the transmission that was originally given to the ancient one, kind of in goddess frequency language. So Hold on. There's a couple of people in the holding room, so I want to get them in here. All right. Okay. Everyone's in. I shall begin. So this is about the moon. Again, this is a transmission that was channeled through the Ancient One. This is not a verbatim transmission. This is shared information. And then I will share a channeled ritual for us. So we will be doing ritual. I will be explaining everything. So initially, we were told to worship the moon, to track her cycles, to bleed with her phases. They told us to offer our healing and our manifestations to her glow. Yes, we all remember that. Hi, beautiful. But they never told us this part. The moon is not what we think she is. Today, we're going to be exposing the lunar interference construct and how an artificial moon was engineered by off-world fractions, Sumerian forces, AI overlords, and reptilian engineers to manipulate the feminine current. Sorry, guys. There's more of you joining than I thought was going to be available today. It's beautiful to see you all. Okay. Um, they designed the moon to drain our emotional field, to regulate human consciousness through coded light phases. This is not about beauty or mysticism, sweethearts, goddesses. This is about psychic domination. The moon is not a natural satellite. She is an implanted surveillance structure, part technology, part vessel. And she was placed here by beings who understood the mechanics of emotional energy. They knew that they could control the tides. Excuse me. If they could control the tides, they could control the blood. If they could control the light at night, they could control the dream field. If they could hijack the feminine current, they could invert the planet itself. Every full moon, signals are being pulsated across the earth, and these signals target our emotional body. They intensify our unresolved wounds, and they make us feel like we're healing, right? We've been told that's what the moon does. It's amplifying all of these things, but that is not what the moon was meant to do. In reality, what we're doing under this current moon is that we are cycling again and again and again. We're not healing completely. So, lunar rituals that were once organic, because they've been hijacked and inverted and looped to drain our life force instead of raising our life force. The feminine is not rising under the moon the way that she used to. She's being fed upon. The moon regulates menstrual cycles not by natural design, but by manipulation. The emotions that spike, those cravings, the dream chaos, they are induced by what is going on and the signals that the moon is emitting, those pulses across the earth. This is not to say that we need to reject her completely, but it is time to see clearly. She, the moon, is not source. She's not mother. She is a construct, a gatekeeper, okay, placed between us and our multidimensional remembrance. Being here in the temple, even as you study in university, everything is about waking you up so that you can remember. And the technology that's been put in place is keeping through the moon is keeping us from our multidimensional remembrance. Lots of us are waking up. And as we wake up, even on the small level, the more that we can disconnect from false timelines and loops and anything that is designed to draw us away from our remembrance, the better it is, because the faster we're going to remember, wake up, and collapse all of this. So the moment we withdraw our consent to the influences of this current moon as it stands, the entire false system collapses. We are not the moon. We are the stars. We are made of stars, and no false light can hold us now that you know the truth. So now let us reclaim our sovereignty. For all of those of you that are with me, I see lots of you are outside. I want you to, under this night sky, we're going to stand barefoot if possible and connect to the earth. We're going to do this ritual together. And this ritual is simply about reclaiming our sovereignty from the false projections that are being pulsated across the planet. Okay. Stand barefoot. I want you to face the moon, not in worship and not in prayer and not in pleading. We're going to face her as the sovereign beings we are. You're going to breathe deep into your womb space. And for those of you here without wombs, we're going to breathe into your sacral or the base of your spine. We will exhale with a grounded, low sound, like thick, like the earth herself. One more time. Inhale. I want you to place one hand on your heart, one hand on your sacral. And we're all going to visualize a cord that is pulsating silver, hooked from our bodies to the moon. And together, as you look at the moon, I want you to repeat after me. Sever all energetic connections, contracts, rituals, and codes tying me to the artificial lunar grid. I reclaim my emotional block body, my cycle, my power, and my remembrance from all false feminine distortions. The moon does not own me. The light within me is older than her glow. And now I want you to see that silver cord shrivel and disintegrate. Then I want you to see a golden solar flame erupt from your womb or your belly or your core and flood the body, blazing upwards towards the sun. Let out a rising hum from low to high. And now we're going to sway our hips slowly. We are moving the body, undulating the spine until the throat is open. So you're going to move the body. Make that sound. Clap your hands, stomp your feet. Now we're doing that because it just anchors us back into the reality of where we are. And I want you to declare after me. I cycle with the stars, not satellites. I rise in solar truth, not lunar illusion. I remember now. I am source in form. And we'll take a moment of silence. and just feel that glow. Allow your glow to return to its rightful place. Whew. So if you choose to continue working ritual, you can now do so from a place of sovereign remembrance. And if you are ready to awaken fully and to break all of the ties of this false light, you can reach out and we'll rise together, because we rise, we remember, and we reclaim as a collective. So this leads me to um, what I want to share with you about the shift that is happening with Goddess Life. So today I want to share a deeply important shift that is happening in our sacred community. For many years, we have gathered under the power of the full moon, honoring her cycles, celebrating our feminine mysteries, and working with lunar energy to manifest and transform. You may have noticed that in the last 2 years, I have stopped holding full moon candle services, and I stopped having full moon ceremonies. So this month of July, excuse me, we are um, shifting back into, with our new membership being available through university, we're shifting back into our full moon and gatherings, right? All of our moon cycles, all of our, we're doing all the things. But as I've continued to awaken and remember higher truths, I have been shown that the energies around the moon, as we experience them today, have been interfered with, distorted, and in many ways hijacked from their original divine intention, which is why I shared the transmission and the ritual that I did earlier. The moon's field has been used on certain spiritual levels to recycle souls, harvest our energy, and keep us bound in a cycles of karmic repetition. And while the original lunar codes are pure and beautiful, don't get me wrong, what many of us tap into during the modern day moon ceremonies are not the organic frequencies that it was meant to be. So because of this, I have chosen to pause and in many cases completely discontinue our collective full moon ceremonies as they have been practiced traditionally. Again, understand, I have an amazing relationship with the moon. And as I deepen, remember, there is a class in university called Dancing with the Moon, which I absolutely love. Excuse me. And it is still a vital piece of information and training. Okay. I wrote the book, Love Notes to the Moon. And all of that is still very, very valid and very, very sacred. However, as I have developed my practice, the reason that I have moved away from the full moon is, first of all, if you ever had the distinct pleasure of being a part of the full moon, any full moon ceremony with me, you would know that I do not manifest, I do not teach that you manifest during the full moon. It is a releasing ceremony. And when I used to hold candle service for the full moon, I found that many of us are releasing the same shit over and over and over and over again. And so I went deep on that and I spent time and I made that adjustment from myself, was to leave the full moon as she is, because it didn't feel right. It's beautiful, but it was getting big. It's closer to the, to the earth. And there was something about it, although divinely uncreate, delete, destroy across all time, space, dimensions, and realities. Excuse me. The divinity had shifted. The more knowledge I got about working with the moon, I discovered that the connection and the results for clients and members and all of you that have participated with me for several years now was just not the same. And so I have slowly backed away from the full moon starting years ago, which has been reflective in our event calendar. Um, it was encouraged and thought collectively that we need to return to our moon ceremonies because there was a lot of requests for them. And as we become closer and closer to that time, I just have to say it is not aligned. So instead, I will be guiding our community to work with solar ceremonies, anchoring into the power of the sun, the living life force, clarity, expansion, and sovereign radiance. The soul frequencies are the solar frequencies are clean, they're direct, they're powerful, and they're unstoppable. And they align us with organic, pure light codes that are free of distortion, activating the truth of who we are and our So I'm giving you guys this transmission, and I am on a balcony, and literally a group of people came out of nowhere, stood in the street, and just stared at us. So I had to pause, and I don't know what's attracted them to me, but anyway. So the solar frequencies are very clean. They're direct, they're powerful, and they're unstoppable. And what they're doing is aligning us with organic pure light codes. They're free of distortion, activating the truth of who we are, right? We are creators, we are leaders, we are priestesses and sovereign beings of the highest light. So going forward, each month we will gather on a designated solar day. So the solar days that we will be working with, because there is no 33rd day, it will either be the 11th or the 22nd of every month. And I will go on the first one, which is the 11th of this month. It will simply be an educational event, to say the least. So our solar ceremony will be on the 11th of July, and that's going to replace the full moon ceremony. So our solar days are going to be very high energy, joyful, fiery, transformative, designed to uplift us, recharge us, and remind us of our infinite power. Those who still feel connected to the moon, it's okay, because we will not completely abandon her. Instead, we're going to work with the new moon energy, which is what we have been doing and we will continue to do, but only after we clear and reject any hijacked coding. So when we start new moon ceremonies, we will be rejecting any hijacked coding prior to starting, moving forward. And I'll guide you through the protocols that will help us restore the original organic lunar codes and protect our ceremonies from distortion. Again, we are going to have this amazing new moon ceremony, and then we're going to have a solar day ceremony. I invite you to join us on this new path as we anchor fully into the radiant light of the sun and step out of recycled loops of false lunar grids. We are the living light. We are sovereign. We are free, and we rise together. This may be an unusual information, something that may not sit well or seems very odd, I need you to understand, moving forward, Temple is about sharing information and sending you frequencies that are going to cause you to remember who you are and what you came here to do. There are things happening on this planet. And next week, we are going to talk about you and your experience here on this planet so that you can get a better perspective of what is going on in your role in it, right? You are, excuse me, you are God having a human experience. I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into that so that you understand. And although you are here having this human experience, some people here are, currently called NPCs, right? They do not have souls. And some of us here have souls. So those of us who are here with souls have a specific purpose. We are not filler people. And although we are all here on this planet together, we are all only experiencing our own holographic reality. So the version of you that I see is based on my frequency. And the version of me that you see is based on your frequency, right? Because you and I are all gods having our own human experience and projecting our own holographic reality. That is what we're going to dive deep into next week. So, I want to talk about why we're going to keep the new moon a little bit more, but release the full moon. So, my goddesses and beloveds, as we rise into this new era of remembrance and sovereignty, it's vital that we become crystal clear about the energies that we work with. The full moon, as we have explored already, has been deeply interfered with, pulsing signals across the planet to amplify wounds, to stir emotions, and to trap us in psychic loops. Once an organic point of like feminine celebration, right? Uh, the field's been hijacked and it's harvesting emotional energy to redirect it. So when we're out here and people are like, somebody's like, what's going on? Oh, it's a full moon. People are acting crazy. Shit's going on. It's the full moon energy. That is hijacked. What they're doing is amplifying the negative energy so they can harvest that energy. They're amplifying your negative emotions and your trauma and your wounds, creating negative energy so that they can harvest it and they can use it for other things. That is why we're choosing to step back from collective full moon ceremonies. We're no longer willing to feed this false lunar programming or allow our sacred intentions to be entangled in a distorted frequency net. But the new moon is a different doorway. So the new moon represents the void, the deep cosmic womb space, right? A place of pure potential. It is a moment of inward reflection, or a movement really of inward reflection and intention planning. In the lunar cycle, it is the most empty, the least programmed, and the least broadcast. Its frequency is quieter, it's less hijacked, it's more neutral, and it's far easier to cleanse and reclaim as our own. So by working with the new moon, we're able to anchor ourselves into that organic code, into the organic codes of creation without as much interference. When we proceed our new moon rituals with a sovereign, like clearing ritual, kind of like what we did today, we're actively rejecting the hijacked overlays. There's a lot of overlays, and regardless of how pristine you're able to get your hologram, because we're going to talk about the fact that you are in a hologram and that you are the projector of the hologram for the experiencer of the hologram, but also the bigger, deeper training is going to be how you are able to program the hologram and to delete programs. This is a whole nother level of manifesting. It's not even manifesting. It takes that concept of manifesting and puts it into the perspective of who you really are, right? So that's book number 2 is coming, because we're about to go real deep. The goddess frequency language is going to be released very soon. The lexicon. We are building out a goddess frequency lexicon that gives you the language that you are going to need to embody your most divine self at your highest timeline. Okay. Let me get back to what we were saying. So we're going to be working with the new moon. So we're going to anchor ourselves into this the organic codes of creation. There's not much interference there. So we'll keep our new moon gatherings to align with the pure mystery of the womb, to honor the darkness as fertile ground, and to remember how to plant seeds in sovereign stillness. We are reclaiming the feminine remembrance that true creation begins in the dark before it is ever seen by the world. So we will release the full moon with gratitude and move forward with intentions rooted in the new moon, rewriting the story of our cycles and reclaiming our feminine magic. So I know that was a lot. I know that was new. And if you are here, and you're a movie watcher, which I'm not, so, just know that you took the blue pill, right? Like, you're going down the rabbit hole with me. So, shifting from the moon, we've gathered for years, women across the world over centuries under the full moon for eons. And it used to work. Timelines are merging. They were unable to reset the old timeline using CERN. That's why we're having so many Mandela effects. They weren't able to reset it because there are too many of us awake. And I do not want to leave this without acknowledging the power that ritual has carried for community connection and feminine remembrance, right? We're not giving up that power of ritual. We are simply redirecting our energy so that the field of the new moon has been repurposed. The full moon signals are consistent during the full moon. Signals are consistently pulsated across the planet. It creates psychic loops, and they're harvesting emotional wounds. It's creating illusions of healing while sustaining karmic cycles. So all of these distortions have been artificially woven slowly over time. And that's how we've ended up with every full moon. Every woman feels highly activated, but can't break through into true change. They stay cycling. We will not feed a false system any longer as a collective. We do not abandon the goddess. We simply remove the hijackers from her code. So, with that, I'm going to open up with any questions for those that are present here with me this evening. There's only about 8 of us. How divine is that? Okay. So, question number 1. Well, the first question I see: will I harm myself if I still do a full moon ritual privately? Absolutely not. But be aware that you may be consenting to hijacked codes unconsciously. Stay clear, reclaim your sovereignty before engaging, right? We're still going to be reclaiming our sovereignty before engaging with a full moon, which is a gentler moon and more in sync with us and less hijacked. So if you're going to work with the full moon in that way, don't. So what should we do? Nothing, baby. Relax and let it go through. Even when the full moon is at its peak, if you feel disturbed by it, reclaim your sovereignty. If you feel drawn to it, I love looking at it. I do spend time under it. But from a creatress, God, divine, feminine perspective, not from the mother moon or calling down the moon. I stopped calling down the moon like 5 years ago on a regular basis. And if I were going to call down a channeled message from the moon, it would be from the new moon. Okay, is the moon evil? No. The moon itself is a construct, but its original codes were neutral and organic. That's why being under the full moon was so freeing. The interference is what is harmful, not the original divine temple. Okay. So the moon was brought here. It is hollow, it is filled with transmitters. Like all of those things are true, but its original codes were neutral and organic. And it allowed our ancestors to be free with it and commune with it and enjoy it, right? And get benefit from it. But because of the interference, that's what makes it harmful. And over time, the interference has gotten more and more intense. And as they, the empire, right, have less and less control, then there's more things and more overlays being put on us, trying to keep us asleep, not allowing us to stay awake or be awakened. Excuse me. Uncreate, delete. So when my voice is interrupted, and also I want to let you know, as timelines shift, right? As remembrance happens, as you remember who you are, your voice does change. It starts to come in harmonic resonance. But also, sometimes when truth is coming out that's never been spoken before, there is a resistance. Can I sync my menstrual cycle to the new moon instead? Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. This is a powerful way to reclaim your rhythm in the organic void. And I can teach you how to harmonize to the new moon cycle if you so choose. Let me know. You can just, if you're on here now, you can message me privately. If you're seeing this in our university temple, if you're seeing this on YouTube, excuse me, you can message me that you like the information on how to sync your cycle to the new moon. And I will get that for you, or get it to you. Let me see here. What if I still love the full moon? I just said I love the full moon. You need to honor what feels good to you, but do it consciously. Use sovereignty protocols first and never feed emotional charge without awareness. And that's going to take time, practice, and work, but you need to do what is aligned with you. And if you're going to be under it, like I said, even when I'm sitting under it, I still reclaim my sovereigns. I still let it know, like, I am not in any way, shape, or form under its control, and I'm not consenting to any of its programming. What is the difference between new moon and solar ceremonies? So new moon is the feminine void, the inner stillness. It's the planting of the seeds. It's starting something new. The new moon hasn't changed. It's what it has always been. Our solar ceremonies are masculine, radiant, fiery, bold energy. So what is happening essentially is that by having a solar ceremony and a new moon ceremony, it is going to teach us to synchronize our masculine and feminine energies together because we need both to be fully awakened and be at our highest timeline. Like we need all parts of us. Will you still teach us moon magic? Yes, but only the reclaimed organic codes. I'll never go back into teaching anything on the hijacked overlays. How do I know I'm free of the lunar manipulation? When you feel calm, you'll feel clear, unhijacked, but unhooked, like there's not a pull. During a full moon, there should not be a pull. So you should have no obvious emotions, no looping patterns, no consistent revisiting of old pain. So, are there any other questions that from our collective here? No. Okay. So, no more questions. I really appreciate you all spending time, spending your energy, allowing and trusting me to be your guide. And I just want you to know that I take that very seriously. I love you very much. I'm going to close the circle. We're going to end with a song. Thank you so much. You are interested in being a part of Temple, you and having access, being with us live. You can do so by joining Goddess University, because that's where the links will be to join. Also, if you are interested again in how to sync yourself to the new moon, let me know. If you're in university, send me a message. If you are interested in being a Patreon of Goddess Life Ministries is someone who makes a monthly donation or one-time yearly donation to help support our mission in supporting women as they transition out of negativity, right? So a lot of times that looks like abuse. It looks like anything dealing in lower energies, divorce, homelessness, etc. If you'd like to work with me personally, you need to join Goddess University. Check out currently Goddess Frequency Now is open, and you're welcome to book a one-on-one with me. So I am Reverend Goddess LaMeel. Thank you so much for being with me during this temple transmission, and I will see you next week. I'm gonna let the song play, and then we'll do or we'll have our chat session. Shapes in the sky, numbers that glow, every sound we know, every breath that we know. I'm not just dreaming, I'm decoding the stars, the phrases, colors, and more. It's a temple, voices that keep open portal back in the remember Holding my pain, the peace, for my name. Hated it, what when divine design. Step through the cold, and her last time alive. Frequencies rising, my soul feel rain. Only is dying, my soul is unchained. Colors escape the sacred geometry. Wove me from stars to walk here as me. I remember me when I get into the light. Become the sound I reclaim. Through time, eyes, all already mine. Oh, feel the hum, one with the source. I've already won. Hold the vision, bend the air, shift the now, ready there. When I'm moving to So it is commanded, so it is witnessed, so is it is done.